So I just want to tell you a little bit about how we got to where we're at here with Kipu. The company I actually work for is called Say Yeah, and we're a design consultancy. One second here. With a strong focus on UX and design and development. So being a design consultancy, of course, we need to track time for our clients, and through doing that, discovered that we hate every tool we've ever used to track time, essentially from Excel out to Basecamp and all those. So we set out to build something a little more user-focused, and hopefully that's what we've done. I'm actually going to demo it for the first time today, so I'm going to jump right into that. Alright, so this is our login screen here. And we've taken a very different focus on time tracking. So essentially, most time tracking systems you'll see online, you've got a single line item where you've got to type, or you've got to select a project you need to type in, you work 2 hours and you write a little note. We've got all that, but we do it very differently in how we enter it. So this is what it looks like when you start, once you started entering time. And essentially, it'll look really familiar if you use iCal or Google Calendar. Everything works very similar to that, but you work backwards. So as you do things throughout the day, you come in here, you drag, and you add things in. The nice thing about this format, beyond the fact that it's very easy to see, is that you can have key points throughout the day. For example, lunch. You know probably when you went to lunch today. You may know when you had a meeting, things like that. So you put those in as anchor points. And even if you don't come back to the system till the end of the day, it's going to help you remember it's going to be easier to remember what did I do after lunch as opposed to what did I do today in general. So I'll give you a quick example here. So I actually haven't filled in what I did after lunch today, so I was actually working on this presentation, so I'll just drag to create that. And there's a list of all my projects on the side, so I can say, let's just put it on something fun, say, and working on presentation. And on top of using this for business stuff, because it obviously is useful for tracking time for building and for tracking time, what we use for a lot is for budgeting as well. So we can see, okay, we put in this time, we know how much time it takes to do this certain type of stuff. So the next client we build, we can have a pretty good idea of what we need to do. So on top of that, you can use it for personal stuff. So I actually use this to keep track of when I go running. So I'll just add an entry here that, even though I didn't actually exercise this afternoon, I'll pretend I did, that I did a 5K run. Feeling great after that. And it's right in there. So, and I've got in here that I watched the 24 finale. So it can track all that type of stuff. The nice thing about this, on top of, say, you could technically do this in like an iCal, for example, but what we built on top of it is the ability to collaborate and report. So I can actually go in and share any of my projects with anybody else who's on the system. So it isn't oriented around your company. So say you have 5 employees in your company, you all work together, and then you hire in a contractor for one project. You can actually just add them to your account for that project and just share that one project with them. So you can actually track time with lots of people as you work with them. And then you can jump to the reporting, which is just a very simple reporting system that has everything here is broken down by day, for example. I have all my projects selected. But I can go down and just choose, I just want to take breaks. Let's do that because that's fun. And I can see how many breaks I took by a day. Or I could choose, projects by clients. So if we've got this one, and this one, and this one are all the same client, I need to invoice them at some point. I can go in there and say, okay, these are all the things I worked for that client on those days, and then I can organize it by project, or I can organize it by a member. And I'll actually just quickly show you. I've got this shared with Lee, my coworker, so I have him here in members. I can add him to the report. And apparently, oh, there we go. And then see his stuff right in line. See how many hours worked just on this project, hours of totals for the client, or I can sort them by person if I'm curious on what Lee's done today, because I think he hasn't worked, for example. And then on top of that, we have a little filter, just getting a little more technical, but you can add hashtags, like if you use Twitter, so you can say this is UX type work, so I can actually select the projects and just filter down what are UX entries. So it's really simple interface, but it does a lot for the reporting. And that's essentially the main features I wanted to highlight on the app. It's basically just the ability to very quickly enter your time in and make changes to it as you would in a familiar calendar format to your iCal or GCal. The other thing you can do too, and I've got a few in here, is I know that I've got appointments next week, for example. So I can actually pre-schedule those, and once those come, say this meeting went long, wonderful, so this 2-hour meeting, or if my dentist appointment gets canceled, I can quickly just delete it or move it to an earlier day. So that's what we've got to offer. We're still in pre-beta right now, but if you go to our website, meetkipu.com, you can sign up for the beta, and once we're ready to launch, we'll be sending out invites for that. So thanks very much.